Okay, so let's find the inverse of f of x equals 2x plus 1. First of all, we need to remember the steps. You're going to replace f of x with y. You're going to switch x and y. Going to solve for y. And then we're going to replace y with the inverse notation. Okay, so this is step 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's work through these. So from here, it says we're going to replace f of x with y. So that means y equals 2x plus 1. Switch x and y. Wherever I see the x, I'm going to put a y. Wherever I see a y, I'm going to put an x, I'm going to put a y. Solve for y. That means we're going to do the opposite of PEMDAS. Order of operations, instead of working down, we're going to work away. So how did we describe this? You're breaking up with your boyfriend. You're breaking up with your significant other. Subtract 1 from both sides. X minus 1 equals 2y. You want to get away from them. That's multiplication, so now you're dividing yourself from them. And you have to do the left and the right hand side. So let's go over this. When I say left and right, this is the left hand side. That is the right hand side. The divider between the left and the right is going to be the equal sign. You have two sides of the equation because of the equal sign. Keep on working. X minus 1 over 2. Those simplified. I'm left with y. So it says replace y with f negative 1 inverse notation, and that is your solution. Alright, find domain, range, minimum, and maximum of the graph below. This should be very simple. Domain is the x's, and it goes from left to right. Range are the y's, low to high. Minimum is the lowest point. Maximum is the highest point. Okay, so when you're looking at domain and range, we are going to identify the very far left and the very far right on the x-axis. So you're lining up this point with the x solution. So here I get x equals negative 13. Here x equals 14. I'm going to use an integral notation with brackets because they are included, and you can tell by the shading. So I go from very left, negative 13, to my very right, 14. Range, from low to high, and that's moving along my y-axis. So I go from the very low, which is right here, to the very high, which is that point right there. So let's line it up. Y is negative 4. Y right here. It looks like that's a 9. Y equals 9. Again, they're included. So I get negative 4, comma 9. My minimum is already identified. So let's use a different color for minimum, because again, this is just the lowest point. So like, let's identify it again with the purple. That point is going to be, we look at x's first. So I get negative 7, comma negative 4. Negative 7, comma negative 4. And we're going to look at my maximum, which is my highest point. And that's already circled for me. So kind of want to notice that your minimum and maximum will already be identified. You're not looking for new points. So my maximum is going to be negative 13, comma 9. And that's number 4. Number 5, find the solution to the linear equation graph below. So let's follow the lines. Line 1, or equation A, is going to be right here. Line 2 is going to be y equals 6. Look at it. Where they cross is located right here. So if we're looking at the graph, we have an x of 5 and a y of 6. So the solution is 5, comma 6. We're just looking for the intersection, which is 5, comma 6.